Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another CineFix Now Roundtable. Before we get going today, this week, we got to say our names out loud while we're doing. First, I'll go first.
People not know them anymore?
My name is Clint Gage. How's it going? The only reason we're doing this is now our podcast. We're officially podcasting this. It is up on iTunes right now. You can go and subscribe to it on iTunes, the CineFix Now Roundtable. So some of you aren't seeing who's talking and instead are going to have to associate sounds of voices with names and faces. So yeah, I'm Clint. Welcome to CineFix. Mike Cruz, how are you doing?
That's fancy. I'm Mike Cruz.
Right.
Hello, audio listeners.
And this will be the last time it'll be this awkward, probably.
Damn it.
Christina, you're here too. How's it going?
Hi, podcast world.
And the people on screen. I mean, like, we're on screen for some people.
Hi, podcast world. This is Christina. This is what my voice sounds like.
Great. And also, T, you are here.
Yes, this is T, and this is the sound of my voice,
Now
podcasters.
that we've got all that settled.
What about Stitcher?
Stitch? Look, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I don't know.
Whatever place is catching the RSS feed of the audio data.
Yeah.
That sounded really technical, and I'm
Look,
smart.
The point is, however technical you want to get about it, you can go do it. You can find it, and you can listen to us as a podcast on your mobile device, probably.
Or your car.
That sounds
Some
like
of
a
you
thing
might
that
be
people
on your
do.
way to the office right now.
Hi, cars.
In which case, continue driving safely, guys. Okay, well, that's enough of that awkward business. So Cruz is here, Christina is here, Clint is here, and that is me, and T is also here, and that is, I think, officially overdoing it.
Is this where we start talking about Dollar Shave Club or Squarespace?
Yeah, exactly. We'll get used to seamlessly doing that at the top of every show, I'm sure. But for now, check us out on iTunes and all that good stuff. So, what we're doing today, since we haven't done it in a while, is a little November preview. There's a lot of good stuff coming up for the rest of the year, November and December, some big movies, some smaller movies. And we were going to sit down and talk about like what we're looking forward to for the rest of the year, and then we started looking at it, we're like, hell with that, there's too much, so we'll do it 1 month at a time.
I started hyperventilating. It was a bad scene. I was just like, can we just do 1 month? I can't take it.
Pearls were clutched.
Yeah.
It was pretty gnarly.
Keep your britches together, though, because I'm super excited for literally Christmas Day, but that'll be sometime.
We'll do that one later.
He really wants a
while you're
bicycle.
driving to Thanksgiving dinner, you can listen to that podcast. Okay, so first up, first weekend in November 6th. What are you guys into? We got Peanuts coming out November 6th.
Absolutely not.
What's the weekend
Okay,
list?
these are the ones that I made note of. Peanuts, Spectre, and Trumbo.
Now, Trumbo I've seen. I reviewed it. I loved it. I keep looking at the wrong camera. I loved it.
Now, the people listening to this as a podcast won't know.
Yeah,
that you looked
they
at the
don't know
wrong
what
camera.
cameras are.
Exactly.
They're like, what is camera?
What is camera?
But it's a little device, and it steals your soul.
What is camera, T? They can ask you directly because they know the sound of your voice.
But yeah, Trumbo's great. Of course, Spectre is going to be a huge deal because it's James Bond, and James Bond is always a huge deal. But I'm most excited personally only because I've already seen Trumbo about Spotlight, which you didn't mention.
I did not mention that.
Which is Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton, and it's about the Boston Globe exposing molesting priests, which obviously really happened. Right. So it's sort of documenting. This is another Oscar baity movie, which is fine with me because those movies are sometimes quite good.
Generally, those movies are really outstanding.
Yeah.
They're the only time Oscar bait movies, when they go like, there's a line that they can cross where they get too Oscar baity, like
Big time.
the most English movie that ever English kind of Oscar bait. But no, I am excited about Trumbo because and Cranston is awesome, and I really want him. Not that he hasn't been working post Breaking Bad, but I want him to have like an awesome career post Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The last thing I remember him in post Breaking Bad, to be honest, is Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which, great. I mean, great for Bryan Cranston. I'm sure it was a great payday, but like, I
don't
want
wanna
to see
be
real
remembered for
Bryan
that.
Yeah.
Cranston.
Well, not to
Exactly.
mention that was a nice payday for like 23 minutes of work or
That's
something.
true.
Like he showed up
Spoiler
on set
alert.
for...
Of those, Trumbo and Spotlight are definitely at the top of my list. Partially because I'm afraid for Spectre. It's hard for me to be excited after Daniel Craig went all like, "F*** James Bond, I don't want to do this shit anymore." It makes me feel like he phoned this one in.
Daniel Craig does not want to be here anymore.
If nothing else, maybe there's a scene somewhere in there where you can tell that was the point in the shooting when he was just done.
Well, it's
Like-
interesting though too because some of the later the more recent TV spots that have come out, he's been sort of like Roger Moore kind of charming. Like, I wonder if he's gonna make a few puns in this. Like, I wonder if they're gonna go that direction.
Well, that would get
with
me
it.
on board. I got to be honest, because
Yeah,
I'm not a
like-
huge Bond fan. I've actually only seen one.
But yeah, I'm a little cautious about it because some of the early word coming out of it is like, meh. And I didn't read this. I know the script got leaked and the whole Sony hack thing.
I haven't read it
I
either.
didn't look at it. I had heard that the third act was a mess or something like that, which is literally every big movie.
And who knows which draft it was?
Yeah,
and who
yeah,
knows
that's
what,
tough.
And I
like-
feel like reading the script for a James Bond movie is just that there's almost no point in seeing a James Bond movie in script form.
It
Like,
just
you don't
seems so
go to it
joyless.
for the plot per se.
Right.
Yeah.
They fight. They have sex. They fight again. He orders a martini.
Now he's on a hang glider. Yeah.
What gadget does he have
Which
this time?
honestly sounds great to me.
Oh yeah.
Those things.
I mean, I did not read the script either, but I think a lot of action movies, it's not just Bond, but I think Bond would be the quintessential one, where it's like almost entirely about how good a performance people turn in as that cackling villain or
Yeah,
as the hot
sure.
chick or whatever. Like, so the script informs me that she is beautiful in a way that Bond has never seen before. Like, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything until you've seen how well
Right.
the lady inhabits the part.
She's seductive
and
in
her
an
name
evil
is
way.
Felicity Rideswell or something like that.
I think Christoph Waltz is an interesting addition to
Yeah.
the Bond universe as well because he is sort of the modern day, like, ultimate interesting villain whenever he goes that route. And I think it is sort of unclear if he definitely is going to be the bad guy, if they're going to, like, twist in some way.
Well, there's
but-
it's a sort of Khan from Into Darkness-esque, like we're all assuming that he's going to be Blofeld, but he's not Blofeld yet
Yeah.
officially. So yeah, I mean Spectre. Hopefully, I've got huge hopes for Spectre, but I'm tempering them for the next week or so, or however long it's going to be before I get to go see it. So that weekend is
Trumbo, Spotlight, Spectre, Peanuts.
Yeah, so it's Oscar bait, popcorn, kids. Cool. So moving on, November 13th. The two movies that I made note of on this weekend, By the Sea, which is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie wrote and directed it. Yep. To me, it feels like their attempt at a Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf kind of vibe.
Yeah, I checked out the trailer and it was just a lot of like longing gazes and sad music, and I was just like, I think I'm
fun
gonna
vintage
pass
clothes.
on this.
Yeah.
I hope it's their Eyes Wide Shut, where it's like
Yeah.
we're married and we're gonna be naked.
I totally
the
got that
whole
vibe.
time.
Yeah, I got
that.
a little whisper of Eyes Wide Shut and it, just feeling that out watching the trailer, but I feel like it's probably gonna be real lame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Real jive.
I mean, just reading the synopsis of it, it's like an American writer and his wife vacation in a cool seaside place, and they
Right.
hang out with younger people and realize that their marriage has problems with it. So I was like, oh, I mean, just so long as you guys get drunk the whole movie, that's your Who's Afraid of Virginia
Right.
Woolf. So
So and she's not Kubrick.
there's a lot
So-
of like, yeah, there's a lot of like and then like by the shoulders up against the wall kind
Yeah.
of vibe, which I don't care for.
which hopefully then goes close, naked.
I would rather just watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith again.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
I
didn't get
forgot
like
they already
full on
did it.
naked, but
Yeah.
I forgot they already did.
And that was a lot more fun than this looks.
yeah, like if it turns out to be really good, like it might be a fun little indie movie. I just don't really believe it. Feels like too much of a vanity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
me to
get
Well,
into.
even the plots just sounds too real life for me to want to pay money to watch. You know.
It sounds like the
like-
movie you sneak
like-
into after going to see whatever other Oscar bait there is. That
Right.
weekend.
Yeah, it's like I'll sneak into that. I'll walk into that movie and just wherever it is during the screening of that movie, I'll wait. I'll give it 10 minutes, and if they're not naked, I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
After 10 minutes, where is the dong?
Where is the dong? Need to get my pit dong on.
That's this week's hashtag. ladies
Hashtag
and
pit
gentlemen.
dong.
Pit dong.
Okay. Anything else? November 13th.
Not on my
That
list.
was kind of a down weekend. a
because
little
the
bit.
next weekend is crazy.
Next weekend.
Right.
Like,
Because it's
everyone-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next
It's actually
weekend.
slightly before. It's the 20th.
Yeah, November 20th.
Like, I've got so many asterisks, which means I want to see it.
Okay. Circle take.
Yeah, exactly. Mockingjay 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Gotta
yep.
go. You know, I was actually
Raise your
sort
hands
of,
if you already got your tickets.
Do you really?
Well, I wasn't
mean,
super
group
pumped
of
to
friends.
see it after Mockingjay 1. That sort of killed my vibe a little bit. I was just like, I'm not so excited about this franchise anymore. But then the trailers for part 2, I'm right back on board.
Well, it's similar to the Deathly Hallows and how they split that one up.
Yeah.
Is the first one is a lot of build up, and
Totally.
then the second one is going to be a lot of action.
Yeah, all of Mockingjay Part 2 is just Act 3 of the first movie.
Yeah, it's
and Act 3 is
literally-
the best act.
It's literally them just attacking the Capitol,
Yeah,
as far as I can
I
tell.
s-
And there's a lot of weird that goes on if they stick to the book.
I
or
haven't
if
read
they,
the books.
Yeah.
So I literally don't know what happens, which makes it very exciting.
Yeah. No, there's a whole lot of very weird, like, trap kind of things that are in the Capitol.
Twists.
Yeah, and like weird, like you see it in the trailer. There's like these
Yeah.
weird zombie-looking things, and
Yeah.
it gets pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I'm excited
Not
for
gonna
it
lie,
again.
it
I'm
gets
right back
real
on board.
gnarly.
And I'm having read the books, I'm very, very interested. I'm very excited to see if I'm pleasantly surprised or ultimately disappointed with the way they choose to go with the ending. Which
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about, but for people who have read the book, you know that there is a certain sort of like feeling that the book leaves you with that I don't think the movie's going to leave you with.
I remember being disappointed by how the book ends, and I will be disappointed if they don't do it exactly that way in the movie.
Yes.
How weird is that,
Yes.
right?
That's exactly my thought.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird, but we won't talk anymore about that because
I'm guessing it's going to end in a pillow fight.
probably. Look,
Ooh.
hey,
Pita dong?
Pita Dong,
Pita
Hutch dong?
Pita Dong,
I mean, the movie is
J Hutch Dong,
wait, what's the other one? It's Peta and I know his character's name, the Hemsworth.
Gale.
Gale. So
Yeah.
it's
Gale
Peta
Dong.
Dong versus Gale Dong.
All right.
Is the ultimate.
I want some dong in those games.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Hunger Dongs.
Hit dong is still just the original, though.
Donging Part 2. Okay, so also November 20th. The other one that I'm really excited about on November 20th is Legend,
Yeah.
with Tom Hardy playing two guys, Cray brothers, who were notorious criminal twins. They were notorious criminals in London back in the day, and he plays both parts. And apparently, it's scary how good he does in this movie.
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy a whole lot, especially after Fury Road. And I watched the trailer, and I have this like slight fear in my belly that it's going to be one of those situations where the trailer is great and the movie is not nearly as good as the trailer. I've seen this happen a lot of times, and just based on the trailers, I'm just like, is this going to be like Blow all over again?
I kind of like Blow.
Blow was fine.
Blow was fine.
What is one of the telltale signs of a trailer that's good for a movie that's bad?
I don't know. It's more of a hunch, and I can't. Yeah, it's more just a suspicion.
I'm on your boat, in sort of, because I feel like it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna Prometheus, which I think is where you're going.
That's the best example. We could call this the Prometheus rule of trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to Iron Lady, which is it's like the yearly movie where Tom Hardy's gonna get the Oscar nom. The performance is gonna be amazing. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Tom Hardy!" But the movie itself is just awful. Yeah. It's just it's only the performance that's better than everything else.
Get out of my brain.
Yeah.
I was looking at the trailer. I was just like, I feel like this movie's not good, but Tom Hardy is in it 1,000%. Like he's so committed, and you can see that even in the trailer. But I don't know if the movie around Hardy is gonna give us what we need.
I feel like the performances by the effects in Prometheus should have won an acting Oscar, whereas the rest of the movie was just a stinking turd around
That's
it.
fair.
But like,
And that movie is always a biopic, right? It's Iron Lady, it's Lincoln. I'd argue it's Lincoln. Like that performance is amazing. That movie's like, ugh, what's happening? Nothing. He's standing around this table all day. Like,
He's not killing any vampires.
what the
But speaking of the effects, though, it will be interesting to see how smoothly they make it look with the double Hardy action.
Yeah, well, and there's really no excuse for it to not be amazing
Yeah.
at this point because we've done so many different versions.
If they could do it in the
of-
Parent Trap, I think.
Yeah.
And Social
God
Network. Social
damn it.
Network was a great
Yeah.
well, they've been
Social
doing
Network
it
is great.
since like Star Trek: The Next Generation on TV.
Yeah, and
like,
even look at what they did with Captain America, like putting somebody's face on somebody else's body,
Totally.
like inexcusable for that to be anything less than seamless.
Mission Impossible.
I do that in every thumbnail we have on this channel.
That's true.
Exactly. Cool. Anything else November 20th?
Yeah, there's The Night Before, which is a comedy. It's Seth Rogen, Jay Gore, and Anthony Mackie, and it's just kind of your typical Seth Rogen ridiculousness. It looks kind of like it might be funny, though. I'm always reticent to see Seth Rogen movies, and then when I do, I end up laughing. I mean, they're not always like front to back funny, but there's always like a couple good laughs in there. So I'll probably check it out like either after the fact, like on cable or something, or eventually, but I don't think I'll catch it in theaters.
Well, because it's Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, right? And
Yeah.
are they ghosts of some kind? Or are they
Magical
just
beings?
Are they just a Jewish guy, a Christian guy?
I think they're just guys.
They're just guys?
I mean,
Okay.
if there's some weird twist like that, then I'm definitely going to see that like
'Cause
3 drinks in.
To be honest, I didn't watch the trailer. I've only seen the poster, and they're like standing there, like maybe it's the ghost of Christmas and
On the poster.
the
'cause
spirit
I
of Christmas,
watched the
Hanukkah.
trailer.
and
I
Kwanzaa.
did
You
not-
didn't watch it either?
I didn't watch it either.
I didn't know that at all.
On the
I mean,
poster, it
are
looks
people
like-
still really acknowledging Kwanzaa?
Here's the thing.
On the
All right,
poster,
well,
it looks like
it's the rule of 3. We got to have another one in there. But here's the thing.
Kwanzaa.
Kind of
Festivus.
to your point about
I would
Seth
prefer
Rogen
Festivus.
movies, to your point about Seth Rogen movies, though, and to our point about just skipping the trailer altogether.
Yeah.
Like I think Seth Rogen has carved out a weird little niche to where we don't expect any of his stuff to be good,
And then it's
but we
decent.
just expect it to be like funny a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so going into that movie with those sort of pre-managed expectations, like you can kind of enjoy all of his movies because you're like,
Right.
look, we know exactly how not good this is going to be, but what the hell, I'm going to laugh 7 times.
And he no matter what variation of comedy he makes, I still think he always makes a stoner comedy.
Yeah.
And
This one's
And
also got
this
like
one
coke
looks-
and mushrooms.
Yeah.
based on
yeah,
the
this one
trailer.
looks like the higher you are, the funnier it'll be.
Right.
I thought he was great in Steve Jobs. Like he's
Yeah.
really good when he's put into like other things, but when it's a Seth Rogen movie,
Yeah. He's just Seth
he's
Rogen.
just Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And if you're high, it's fine.
You know what you're getting. And I think, forget it. It's just
But I
move on.
genuinely thought this movie, based on the poster, I genuinely thought this movie was like some sort of real life version of Nightmare Before Christmas, where like they were the holidays.
Yeah,
And-
I
exactly.
don't think so. I didn't get that at all from
Well,
the
look.
trailer. I was just like, wait, what?
That's very fair because I didn't watch the trailers. I
I
have
think we
nothing to base
clearly need
this
to
on.
do some sort of CineFix trailer reaction for
Yeah.
this movie. About like we didn't do
Well,
one for Star Wars, but we're gonna
that'll
do it
be-
for the Seth
That'll
Rogen.
be boring because all of our reactions are just going to be like, oh,
Yeah. There's one more for
one more November
20th.
20th.
Secret in Their Eyes, which is a crime thriller. It's got, I never know how to say this guy's name. I'm sorry. Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel
yeah.
Ejiofor.
I was close.
You were very close.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, Julia Roberts. I love a thriller, preferably sexual. And this looks like just one of those great crime thrillers that we used to get like every month in the 90s, and it usually had like Denzel Washington wearing a Hawaiian shirt. But
You remember that one with Kenneth Branagh, Dead Again? You remember that one?
I don't think so.
That goes a little farther back, but it's one of those like sexy thrillers. This one was like about reincarnation and scissors.
This
My
one
favorite
reminds
Weird.
me sort of like the Alex Cross, but like the Morgan Freeman.
Sure.
Alex Cross kind of movies, and I just love movies
Not
like
the
that.
Tyler
So,
Perry attempt at
I'm sorry,
Alex
no.
Cross.
So I think
Hashtag not my Alex Cross.
hashtag not my Christian. But yeah, like I think I will probably check this one out on a weekend when there's just nothing else going on.
Yeah. So that one edges out Legend for you?
It's a tough call because like that weekend, the 20th. I mean, there's like 4 movies I want to see coming out the same day, so.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to come down to my like drinking schedule.
Right. It also might be one of those weekends where you just panic and then don't go see any of them.
That's what happens when I do go see my parents.
Just Google Mockingjay spoilers.
Exactly.
We cannot.
Just read the book.
Just Google.
No.
Read the book. Get out of here.
That's lame.
We cannot.
You gotta go see
among-
Donging J Part 2. Okay, so moving on to Thanksgiving. This is a big, for a second I was like, how are there 5 weekends? Oh wait, it's all one big long weekend. Let's see, the first one that I wrote down is Victor Frankenstein.
Yes.
I'm kind of
I'm
excited
really
about it.
excited about it. Okay, because here's partially is no matter what people on the internet think of him, of Max Landis, and his personality that he has his writing, I think, is really good. I think American Ultra is one of the better, like, funner, underrated movies of the year. I think I've read this take on Victor Frankenstein, so I'm a little biased, but I think outside of the script, it looks like it's really cool, it's really well done, and Daniel Radcliffe, I think, is bringing it as Igor. Yeah.
And I love James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard not to. I mean, the only thing this movie has working against it is the fact that I, Frankenstein came out last year.
That is exactly why I didn't even write it down.
There you go.
I was just like, oh no, not again.
Not another one.
It's the.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Hopefully this will be the.
Does anybody know what
Nobody.
the whole phrase is?
We're gonna figure that out one of these days.
That's why I broke up with my college boyfriend.
Yeah. I sound like George W. Bush right now because he famously that phrase up too.
He was like,
He's like, there's an old saying down in Texas. I think they got it in Tennessee. Yeah. Fool me once, shame on.
Oh, shame
on you. Fool me twice. Point is, can't get fooled again. That's in a J. Cole song now, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I remember that quotation so vividly, and I still it up.
It's fine.
I still it up.
Look, the point is, Victor Frankenstein is gonna be a pretty good movie, I think.
yeah, it's not a fool. It's not a double fool.
Yeah.
It's the Edge of Tomorrow to the oblivion of like 2
That's a good
years
way to
ago.
put it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's the good Tom Cruise alien
Right.
space movie.
Not the bad.
No,
Tom
but
Cruise.
Tom Cruise nor aliens are in this movie.
So don't worry.
Right.
They better be. My
It's
expectations
McAvoy,
have been
it's
set.
Radcliffe doing the Frankenstein thing, and it looks genuinely nuts and fun.
Nuts and fun,
Yeah.
and I think that's what you
Hashtag
can,
nuts and fun.
That's what you can expect from Max scripts. I think is nuts and fun, but is a full bag of nuts and fun, but
Full sack of nuts, would
full
you say?
sack of
What
nuts
about
and fun. No dong. No dong.
I
Just sack of
wouldn't mind
nuts
a
and
bag of
fun.
dong.
That's the first time this section of the conversation got dirty, by the way. You took it to a dirty place.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And Mary Shelley is probably gonna be rolling around in her grave laughing, like, "Ooh, this is good."
This is also probably the movie I'd have a hard time convincing my parents to see with me on Thanksgiving weekend, so I'm a little sad about that.
Let
but
the parents go to bed, go see the late show of Victor Frankenstein, I think. Because earlier that day, odds are your parents made you go see The Good Dinosaur, which is a Pixar movie that I will freely cop to. I'm going to completely skip this movie.
I think it's the first Pixar movie that nobody gives a rat's ass
Well,
about.
I don't think emotionally I'm going to be able to handle it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't even look at the billboards without getting like mad and upset. Because as far as I can tell, it's about a small child that suddenly doesn't have its parents, and that scares the bejesus out of me right now.
And knowing it's Pixar, he makes friends with a dinosaur.
Yeah,
And
who
I will bet
also
you at
is an
the
orphan.
end of who also is an orphan, and I will bet you at the end of this movie, like that comet's gonna hit, and that kid's gonna end up alone. That dinosaur's gonna die.
I can't even talk about this movie.
I wasn't going to see it anyway.
Well, there you go. So we can move on?
It's probably gonna be amazing.
I'm going to see it.
Fine.
I mean,
Somebody
I've
will
said
tell
this
me all about it,
before.
I'm sure.
I've said this before. Pixar always does great work. I've never watched a Pixar movie and not liked it, but I also never am inclined to go watch a Pixar movie.
Except for Cars 2.
Well, yeah, I haven't even seen
There's a
that
couple
one.
sequels that they should have stayed away from, but for the most part, yeah, they're real good, and that's what scares me about this movie. I don't think I'm gonna be able to handle it.
The thing is, though, after Inside, I mean, I think Inside Out was pretty divisive, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, but there seems to be sort of you either loved it or hated it. Yeah. But I think they kind of set a bar now, and I don't know if Good Dinosaur, if anybody cares enough, I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know. It just feels like it's gonna fizzle out.
It feels like the trailers look, it's clearly like a boy and his dog.
Yeah.
But the dog is the boy and the boy is the dog.
Well, the boy's the
Boys and
dinosaur.
Boys the
Fool me
Yeah, the
once.
boy-
Fool me.
Shame on
the dog.
Shame on the dog. Fool me 3 times. The dinosaur is the boy.
That's exactly how that goes.
We figured it out.
We got it.
Classic.
Nailed it.
Classic idiom.
I like alliteration, so I'm gonna just say hashtag Dino Donk.
The Good Dinosaur. So, what else is coming out on Thanksgiving? If we're going to refuse to venture into the feels with Pixar again, going to go see Victor Frankenstein for sure, but there's more time to kill over Thanksgiving. So what else are we
There's
going to go see?
Creed.
There's Creed.
Which I don't know how to feel about it because, like, when you tell me the premise, I'm like, that's stupid. But the trailer looks kind of good.
That's the thing.
And I love Michael B. Jordan. And then I was just like, oh my God, Wallace and Avon Barksdale are in a scene together. Because there's a scene where Wood Harris is talking to Michael B. Jordan, and my head went,
Yeah, I think I remember when I heard this movie was getting made at all, and I was like, that's dumb.
It's very
It's just real dumb.
It's very easy to eye roll at it conceptually,
totally.
but there's something about sports movies that if they do the trailer right, it's like, oh great, I'm in. Let's
Right.
go. I don't give a damn about Rocky. I really don't.
I like
The
I
first
like
Rocky movie is great. It's
great.
one of the all times.
as
but
a franchise.
No, I
Don't
am
give
out. I don't care. The other movie that I made note of here on Thanksgiving weekend is that Oscar bait movie that's potentially over the Oscar bait line, and that's The Danish Girl, where Eddie Redmayne, who was already Oscar baiting last year,
Yeah.
and it worked, playing.
I'm still salty
in
about
that TV
Still
movie.
mad about that?
Yeah.
So he plays a transgender Dutch artist.
Yes.
And her relationship with her wife, who is played by Alicia Vikander, who is awesome.
She's always awesome.
She was great in Ex Machina, and the only
Did her
interesting,
best with the man from
the
Uncle.
only interesting part, I contend, in The Man from Uncle. So this it's a biopic about a transgender artist who's also European, played by an Academy Award winner.
I hope it nabs a supporting role nomination for Vikander. Mm-hmm. That's my dream for The Danish Girl.
But nothing for Redmayne?
oh no, I'm over Redmayne. I hope he Jupiter ascending.
Well, look, I mean, if I'd like to think there's at least somebody intelligent doing this movie.
No, it looks like he's doing a great
I'm
job.
sure he'll be great.
Yeah,
and if he earns it, he earns it. Great. It's just
true.
the role. And that's the frustrating
Actually,
thing
I hope he
because this
earns
is a
it more
story.
than last year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sort of the frustrating thing about even just having the Oscar bait discussion too. It's like because the story is one that should be told. Like it's an interesting story, and this artist's life is, worthy of being told and being taken seriously. And it's particularly relevant now. But and I'm as guilty of it as anybody. I'm like, Oscar bait.
Yeah, cynicism
Which that's
takes over,
totally not
and
fair.
It just seems
Yeah.
like a trophy grab. but-
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just the 2 years in a row of the Eddie Redmayne right now. Like I'd be fine with, because obviously he needs my permission to do another movie.
And what's funny is I remember hearing about this movie before Eddie Redmayne came on, and I was really excited. And something about it's not the Oscar bait that's a turnoff for me. It's actually the
It's just Eddie Redmayne.
And
I mean,
don't
look,
know
he was
why.
bad in Jupiter Ascending, but
He was, and
so
and
was
here's the thing.
Jupiter
I was
Ascending.
gonna
I
say
also,
everything
it's
was
not
better.
Jupiter Ascending. I'm also still a little salty over the win. I think maybe this was the role he should have won for, and the Oscars are infamous for that.
I think I'd like to see Eddie Redmayne do like a normal average movie in which he's like neither.
If they still made romantic comedies, put him in a romantic comedy.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Because right now it feels like he's dipping into a bag of tricks, and I want to just see him like.
You think he's gonna Johnny Depp? No.
No,
He's playing
I
too many
mean-
real humans.
No, I mean it's a different thing than what Johnny Depp would do, but it's in the same vein where like whenever Johnny Depp tries to play a soccer dad, you're just like,
Nope,
Don't buy
it. So for the sake of his career, hopefully he's in, You've Got Mail or something like that, so that we can believe him as a human being.
You've got text.
You've got dong.
You've got Dong, the new app from your favorite makers of Face Dong.
I want to
And
see
Grindr, I
the
think, just based on the other.
You've got mail, but with yo, where they're just
Yo got
yoing
mail?
each other. Yo. I'm with this guy I met on Yo.
Guys, we're clearly out of things to say.
We are.
We're clearly out of relevant things to say, and people are probably getting close to their offices by now.
Oh no!
Because they're listening in the car on the podcast.
Stop. Get to work.
All right, everybody, let us know what you think about all this stuff. What movies are you excited about coming up in November? What you gonna see with your folks over Thanksgiving? Let us know down in the comments below. Click like and subscribe. Stick around for more CineFix on CineFix. which is the only
Or
place
on iTunes.
where you can get a CineFix outside of iTunes.
I think the podcasting threw me off. I didn't look at the camera. I think this is the first time I've looked at it. Hi, guys.
That's fine. It's the first time I've cut to you, too.
That's